Hey, what's up guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Mayakashi deck profile. So this one's actually been a long time since I actually did this one, and I've done a lot of updates to it since the last time where it was just the FTK variant. So this time, you can actually FTK your opponent, or you can just make the Synchro monsters and be able to OTK your opponent as well. But there's a lot of different aspects to this deck that just make it so much different than it was last time. So I'm really excited for this one. So without further ado guys, let's get started on this. But before we do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and let's get started on this. But I really quickly do want to mention to you guys, we do have a Ko-Fi and a Patreon down in the description. If you guys would like to donate to the channel, all donations are very much so appreciated, and they go towards cards for the channel and stuff like that for the channel. So let's get started on this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Daki. Daki is like the main card of the deck. You've got to play 3 copies of Daki because you can only control one of her. But when a Mayakashi monster is special summoned to your side of the field from your extra deck, while this card's in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from the graveyard. But you cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck except for Mayakashi monsters, which is not that big of a deal. It's really not, because we play 13 Mayakashi monsters in the extra deck, and 2 of them are not, and we rarely go into the 2. Then we play 3 copies of Haji, the Winged Mayakashi. Haji is the one that is the starter of the deck, basically. If he's normal or special summon, you get special summon a Mayakashi from your deck, which is always going to be your copy of Daki. So you can start synchro climbing from 3. It goes 3, 5, 7, 9, 12, and then the Link monster. And then you can use the Link monster with different stuff to go back into the skeletal level 11, which is extremely easy. Then I play 3 copies of Yugioh, the Ice Mayakashi. Ice Mayakashi is really good. It's really underrated for what it does. If you control a Mayakashi card other than Yugioh, Yuki Mizumi, the Ice Mayakashi, while this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can special summon this card and then send a zombie from your deck to the graveyard, which can be like a Unizombie, it can be a Mizuki, or a Gozuki, or, you know, a Globe Bloom, or something like that that you might need to get to the graveyard to trigger their effects. Then I play 1 Sheifu, the Wheeled Mayakashi. I just play 1 of Sheifu. I feel like that's plenty, to be perfectly honest. Sheifu's good, but I just feel like Sheifu's a good one-of, in my opinion, because basically he's a good recovery card, that if he's normal or special summoned, you can target one of your Mayakashis in your graveyard, except another copy himself, and special summon in defense position, mitigate its effects, and you can only use his effect once per turn. But like, let's say that your level 11's in the graveyard, you normal summon Sheifu, you put this in defense position, and you have a 2600 wall on your side of the field. Really good. Really nice to be able to have. So that's it for the Mayakashis. We do play a lot of monsters, so I'm going to move the Mayakashis out of the way so we can show off the generic zombies. So then we're going to be playing 3 copies of Soul Absorbing Bone Tower. So Soul Absorbing Bone Tower is such a good card in this deck. Basically what Soul Absorbing Bone Tower does is every time a zombie's monster is special summoned to your side of the field, you can your opponent has to send 2 cards off the top of their deck to the graveyard, which is really powerful. Because you just put this on the field, and if your opponent's playing a 40-card deck, you just have to special summon 20 times, and you FTK your opponent, or OTK your opponent, mill them out, whatever you want to say. This card just ends the entire game. So it's a really good 3 of in the deck, and you don't have to go for that. You don't have to go for the FTK. You can play this and just mill your opponent out later in the game if you needed to. Then we play 1 copy of Gozuki. Gozuki, when it's on the field, once per turn, you can send a zombie monster from your deck to the graveyard. But the really cool effect that I find that comes in really handy is if it's in the graveyard, you can, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish a zombie monster from your grave and then special summon a zombie monster from your hand, which can be really beneficial to get out extra zombies on your side of the field. Just 2 Mizukis you can banish from your graveyard to special summon a zombie from your graveyard. We have other cards in the deck that does this, so it's not monsters like Book of Life, so we just play this as a 2 of in the deck. 2 copies of Unizombie. The only reason I play 2 Unizombie is because I play 3 Shiranui Solitaire, and it's just kind of like a small sub-engine anyways. We're going to be playing mainly focused towards the Mayakashi engine and less towards Unizombie. So Unizombie is a good 2 of. Basically, you can send a zombie from your hand to the graveyard, increase a zombie on your side of the field by 1 level, or send a zombie monster from your deck to the graveyard to increase it by 1 level as well. And then we play 3 copies of Shiranui Solitaire just to tribute to special summon out our tuner monsters that are 0 defense, which is usually just going to be Unizombie. I believe Yeah, Unizombie is just the only one. Because, oh no, you can special summon Daki. You can actually special summon Daki because Daki has 0 defense. But you're usually not going to summon Daki off of the Unizombie, but it's an option. 2 copies of Baller Draught. Baller Draught is super good in this deck because it just keeps special summoning itself, and with Soul Absorbing Bone Tower, it will mill your opponent out very quickly. And this card works really well for protection for Bone Tower and your Mayakashi monsters, because if your opponent activates a zombie effect on their side of the field, you can negate the effect or banish a monster on the field or in the graveyard, which with our copy of Zombie World is going to be really beneficial to be able to negate cards on the field that your opponent activate. 2, Necro Netherworld Banshee, because you can get into Zombie World a lot easier with Necro Netherworld Banshee. And then 2 copies of Glow Up Bloom. Glow Up Bloom is really nice because it actually gets your Doom King Baller Draught onto your side of the field extremely easily by just sending it to the graveyard while you have Zombie World on your side of the field, and then it immediately lets you special summon Doom King Baller Draught from your deck. Really good effect. And it's kind of like a backup plan if you don't get the Soul Absorbing Bone Tower. Like, it was extremely fragile when you played with Soul Absorbing Bone Tower, but you could get it to work very easily. But now I really realized, now playing this deck, that you can actually play around with Doom King and the Soul Absorbing Bone Tower and the Mayakashi Synchro monsters and really establish a field that's going to really cause problems for your opponent. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Terraforming just to get into our copy of Zombie World a little bit easier, because we do play the Necro Netherworld Banshee, but it has to be in the graveyard. She has to be in the grave in order to trigger her effect off. So we just play her as a 2 of and play Terraforming as a 1 of. Foolish Burial to send the exact zombie we need to the graveyard when we need it to the graveyard. Card Destruction comes in clutch, especially in zombie decks, but Card Destruction in this deck really comes in clutch because it makes it so you have to mill your opponent less to you know, go off the FTK if you're going to go that route. But even if you're not, Card Destruction really comes in handy because you're trying to get to Hajin. You're trying to get to the Wing Mayakashi really fast. So Card Destruction, if you don't draw it in the first turn, you're going to discard your entire hand and then go for it. 1 copy of Monster Reborn just to revive your particular zombies you might need. 1 for 1 because it does, Hajin is a level 1. Mayakashi Winter, I just play it as a 1 of because of its graveyard effect of being able to banish it another zombie monster in the graveyard to special summon a Mayakashi from your graveyard, which is really nice. The 100, attack loss is nice as well for your opponent's monsters for each Mayakashi monster you have with a different name in the grave, but I think that's the max is like 1,000 or something. Like, it's not very high of a gap that it makes. And then you can send this card in a Mayakashi card you control to the graveyard to draw a card, which is nice too, but you're going -1 for that. So I really just use it with Mayakashi Return to send it to the graveyard, which is another option. 2 copies of Book of Life. Book of Life is kind of like extra copies of Monster Reborn. Unless you target a zombie monster in your graveyard, banish a card from your opponent's graveyard that's a monster, and then special summon your, zombie monster from the grave, which is nice. I just play 2 copies of Zombie World in this deck because it's not completely focused around Zombie World, and I have plenty of options to get to Zombie World. With Terraforming, it thins the deck. By playing 2 Zombie Worlds and a single Terraforming, it thins the deck to get to Zombie World a little bit faster. And also, it makes it a little bit easier for stuff like Necro Netherworld Banshee, because Necro Netherworld Banshee can get it from the deck as well, which is really, really nice. Which is really, really, really nice because it can just immediately put it on the field. Then I play, for the last 3 cards in the main deck, I play 3 copies of Mayakashi Return. Mayakashi Return lets us take a Mayakashi card from our deck, except Mayakashi Return, and either add it to our hand or send it to the graveyard, which is nice to activate this with Winter and send Winter to the graveyard so you can actually trigger its effect to banish it with another zombie to immediately special summon as Mayakashi from your, grave. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So the extra deck will go very quickly because it's a lot of duplicate cards. So basically, the way that I'm going to lay this extra deck out is I'm going to go from the lowest level to the highest level because that's the way you climb in this deck anyways. So we're going to be playing 2 copies of Oboro Gumara, the Wheeled Mayakashi. Basically, I'm just going to say level 3 Mayakashi. I'm not even going to try and pronounce all these. But this one, basically, you just special summon it, and then you use it to climb into the next one. And its particular effect is, a lot of the Mayakashis have different abilities, but this one is, if this Synchro Summon card in your possession, whose original level is 5, is destroyed, or by a battle or by opponent's card effect, while this card's in your graveyard, you can banish another zombie monster in your graveyard, and if you do, special summon this card. So all of your Synchro Mayakashi monsters share that ability, except for the level 11, which special summons itself if a Link monster is destroyed by battle or by card effect. But like if the 3 is destroyed, it special summon, or if the 5 is destroyed, it lets you special summon a 3. If the 7 is destroyed, it lets you special summon the 5, and like it just depends on which one you've got. It lets you special summon the one previous to it. And then if this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can activate this effect this turn. Monsters cannot be destroyed by battle, which is really cool. We play 2 copies of the Poisonous Mayakashi. If this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can have each player send the top 3 cards of their deck to the graveyard, which is really nice to be able to send cards from the deck to the graveyard for, both of you. Tengu, the Winged Mayakashi. If this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can destroy a spell or trap. Then Yugioh, the Graceful Mayakashi. Yoko's effect is if this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can destroy a monster your opponent controls. And then finally, Gasadorko, the Skeletal Mayakashi. Gasadorko, I think that's how you say it. I don't know. I'm probably butchering that one. But basically, if this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can activate this effect. This turn, this face-up card is unaffected by other card effects. So it's immune to everything, which is absolutely bonkers to be immune to everything. But this card is really good. And it's a 3,300 beat sticks. I play 3 copies of Yugioh, the Ice Mayakashi. But the really nice thing about this is when we get the Link 4, I'm probably going to drop one of these for the Link 4. So you can kind of already look at it for when we do get the Link 4. You just drop one and put the Link 4 in here instead. But you can only control one of it. And then while this card points to a Synchro monster, your opponent cannot target this card for attacks. And if a Synchro monster in your possession is destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effect, while this card is on the field, you can target one face-up monster on the field. Its attack and defense becomes half its current attack and defense since the end phase of turn. But you basically just have this for the Link arrows. It's not that big of a deal in Master Rule 5, but it is there for options to get you an extra monster on board to special summon. But it's a good card, I guess. Then we play a single copy of Beals. I just play a single copy of Beals because you can summon it really easily with your Unizombie, but you can't special summon it if you have like Daki or Hajin on the field. And then a single copy of Avenged Savior. Basically, this is just here because it lets you send a zombie monster from your deck to the graveyard to reduce an opponent's monster's attack by the level of that monster times 200, which is nice, and it helps you beat over stuff. So, I mean, that's the only reason I really play that. And it's a space filler because we can only play, 15. We have to play 15. We don't have to play 15, but it's there. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's a super fun deck that basically lets you synchro climb through all of your Mayakashis, which is super interesting, the way that it plays. I don't think they've ever been, besides like Junk Doppel, another deck like this, which is kind of cool. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.